Alright, last time some things happened, and this time some things will happen.
Time to finally execute that horrible murderer, Maya Fey.
I agree. She's been roaming these lands for far too long. It's about time she was put where she belongs. In a grave. Wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday, but if I can figure out Lady Kira's motive
recap
for threatening the High Priest, then maybe. Nick, today well, don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I got. You would do well to seize this insanity while you still can. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this, motherfucker shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last time.
Why did you name Phoenix after yourself?
What? The moment she is found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at playing video games. And unlike miracles, the video game is always waiting to be played. The video game, you say? Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be your very last video game. Oh, I see. Yeah, because I'm also called Nick, so, you know, yeah. I'm gonna prove you innocent, Maya. You'll see. After all, we have to introduce the plumed Punisher warrior of Neo Twilight Realm to the folks back home, right? Right!
Let us video game.
I may be a defendant this time, but I've only been in court like fucking 3 billion times, so... This place is tough on lawyers. Need all the help I can get.
Princess wants to stop the video games.
It is. I should actually support the princess.
She can't be that bad.
Yeah. Plus, it's always good to have you on the team. Well, it's time. Let's go. Like, if they don't even have defendants, why did they still keep the court system at all? At all? It seems fairly pointless. If they don't have lawyers or whatever, fuck it. You get what I mean. Fence is ready. Dots. Huh? Dots. Quiet!
There he is, that nerd.
Can't you see that prosecutor Shatmati is absorbed in silent prayer? Great. Trial's barely started and the judge is already mad at me. He's very devout for a prosecutor. Why is the accused standing over there? Oh, well... Your Majesty. In addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant. Accused is your assistant, you say? Very well then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul. That wasn't very nice. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyer seems to be a custom of sorts here in Crayon. I must say, I'm surprised that you're still here in Crayon, Mr. Wright. And even more so to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. Cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life yet another trial. The answer is simple, Your Majesty. You suck. Although, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. I would rather be playing Metal Gear Solid 5. But the people demand otherwise. Such foolishness. Prosecutor Shatmani, are you ready to begin now? Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay.
The answer is simple. I'm suicidal.
First, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of hell.
There's nothing to worry about though. If Maya does die, we can just turn back time to 6 minutes before her death.
This isn't that kind of game. I think I'll pass on that whole fire and brimstone deal. Brimstone. I'm not surprised by your words or stance, considering what Apollo's told me about you. Whatever. Like, his mantra is so uninteresting to me, I just don't even want to bother reading it. Nervous, Maya? A little. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. Too bad I'm the defendant. Don't worry. I haven't lost a case together yet, because the game over is if you lose. That's an amazing picture. You're right, Nick.
His name is Apollo.
This sure is video games. Now then, Prosecutor Shinmari, would you please explain the case at hand? Of course. Let's just fucking do this. Check out my Naruto scroll. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. The victim of her heinous crime was High Priest Thorustin. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain.
Time to lawyer it up.
And the cause of death? Let us review the victim's autopsy reports and the crime scene photo. Hey, have we ever tried out, like, Spanish or Portuguese TTS? I don't know if that sounds any good. The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the Warbad dagger, which was used in the rite. However, the weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched. Sacred relic used as a tool of murder. The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe. The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had done Lady Kira's sacred robes. That sounds terrible. The victim was there to offer prayers as a high priest of Crayonism. During the rites, the victim and the accused were the only two at the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey. I must say, that does cause a great deal of suspicion upon the accused. Indeedly. Now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence. Yada yada. In Crayonism, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, my Fey's soul shall be plunged in the lows. La 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 la. I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it. As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the High Priest in the first place. Wasn't there like a fucking... This reminds me of one case that was also really fucking dumb. Where they had the thing, like, where the prosecution claimed, like, they didn't need a motive or some stupid shit like that. I don't remember. Whatever. Oh yeah, that was Leighton Versus, wasn't it? Where they were like, she's a witch, she doesn't need a motive, she's evil.
What?
For all will be made clear by her benevolence. So it is, and so it shall be the
All right.
termination. Here we go. I was almost expecting them to pull that kind of bullshit right here. Like, she's an outsider, she doesn't need a reason. Holy shit. Everyone's a fucking pervert. Please kill this entire nation. Thank you. Rest assured, good people of Crayon will defeat this murderer
But they
under
were
a better...
justified because they were confused by the chemicals in the water.
Let's see if she has learned a new dance and song.
I hope they're just gonna skip it this time. What a joy it is to have... I feel like I'm slowly turning into Emma. She sure looks pleased with herself, especially for someone who didn't know what a Freedom Express was until yesterday.
I wonder how that translates.
Wonder what translates.
This game does not skim on the text.
Is there something stuck to my face, barbed head? No, nothing, your benevolence. Now then, fucking do it already.
The thing TAHT, the crowd chanted.
No, I didn't even pay attention. Anyway, localization is difficult.
Oh, Holy Mother, we let the eyes
Yeah, whatever. Oh, hey, I can skip this. That's great. That's good. Thank you.
Why are you turning emo? Is something crawling in your skin?
Emma isn't emo. What the fuck are you talking about?
I thought you said you were turning emo.
No, Emma. Emma Sky, the one who always eats snacks all
This
the
guy
time.
sure had bad eyesight.
Okay.
Oh right, I have bad earsight.
I'll believe that. Great. Could not be any clearer. Scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horned abbot in me must have felt. Uh-huh.
Butterfly.
Transformation rites. The high priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. A rite of water. Lady Kira enters the spring and the high priest purifies her along with a dagger. Rite of fire. Priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. Indeedly. It would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. And from the spring. Would you care to object? Of course, because I know my client is innocent. So you say. Let's do it. A foolish fool. I'm so tired of this. The victim commenced the purification rites by bowing to the lanterns and reading the sutra.
Insight.
As the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense
Are you trying to
pain.
guilt trip us because we wanted to see this game?
No, I'm not blaming you for wanting to see this game. I'm just so fucking sick of I don't know, like, I don't enjoy this kind of constant beating down stuff that they do in some of these games. Like, I don't care for that. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't make me hate things. It's just boring.
Padding.
As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he paused from one. Yeah, padding is one thing. Yeah, it makes it slower and it pads out the time for no reason. That's one part. And the other is just that the way the banter goes is just so uncreative and it's so worn out and done. I just can't derive any joy from it. As everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Please let me move on to beating the shit out of you. As in the sacred robes, the accused rushed the victim head on. Brutal stabbing the perpetrator could not have been any clearer. It's bad. No, you waste my fucking time with your endless fucking useless dialogue. Come on. Sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes and Rayfar's insights to lost them. So there could be contradictions. You got it. And to find them this time too.
I guess cases about religion are not all that interesting either.
Why are you giving me a tutorial again, game? Like, in other games, usually the banter revolved around the prosecutor having some kind of personal history with Phoenix and them beating around with each other because of that. In this case, it's just because people are religious zealots, and it's just not interesting. It's just boring because they, you know, I don't know, it doesn't have any punch to it. Sensation just times the deflection more than the other ones.
History with Phoenix.
Does she? Okay, I didn't know. Okay, time to point out the shit.
Well, he does personal history with Apollo at least.
Yeah, that was slightly more interesting, but the court case didn't reveal any of that. Hold on for a sec.
It's why you are named Nick.
Victim comments to the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. Yeah. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, she lowered the sutra suddenly. Heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robe. It's pain. No, don't. Ugh. It doesn't smell anything or hear anything right here. And there's the wind. Okay. What was it they said just now? I don't know, I don't see anything. So the two lanterns are intact. And this is not interesting.
Everything seems to check out.
And then there's a wind here. The lantern is now broken. Incense and footsteps. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything. And the fucking kerning on this font is really bad. Like, look at that commenced, that CE at the end there. I don't know. Any ideas, Ginger?
Well, I think it's related to how they're positioned, but I forgot how the map looked.
Let's take a look at the map then. I don't think it is. No, it checks out. At least as far as I can tell.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Well, the footsteps for one do not change in volume.
Yeah, but this isn't... Does that really matter at all? We know Maya is unconscious at this point, so... I guess it does, because the incense gets stronger. But what is that in contradiction with? No, approaching footsteps.
There are no senses present until he puts down the sutra. Yes.
Yeah. But that's because his vision is blocked and stuff. But yeah, the footsteps seems to be the likely thing, because the incense gets way bigger, and the footsteps don't. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go with that.
Objection!
Yep. Good job, Gingy. You did it. The victim supposedly heard the accused's approaching footsteps. But did he really? What nonsense is this? Is it not abundantly clear? No, it's not. Because there is something strange about those footsteps. Strange? Explain yourself, asshole. The footsteps are strange because...
I thought there might have been some contradictions in the early parts, but in that case I have nothing.
You're not getting any louder. Why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches.
Also nice work.
If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, your benevolence? Well, there must be a reason.
Objection!
Perhaps you must listen more carefully to the abbot's midama. Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation?
With so much evidence you have, finding out the right answer is quite tricky.
Can more accurately gauge sensations by
I would be
deepening my
confused.
communication. I didn't know you could do that. Why don't you do this all the time? By refining a sensation, a clear picture of the truth can be discovered. Get on with it. Stop wasting my time! What? Footsteps changed into bells? What could this mean? So now there is no footsteps anymore. That doesn't make any sense. Bells? But the only bells at the scene of the crime were... Ah, that jingling must have come from Abadimi's bells. You mean those big things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the High Priest's own footsteps. And that means... the footsteps belong to the victim himself. It means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. Okay. The victim was the one who went running towards the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what our benevolence's insight would have us believe. But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe he was trying to defend himself. Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with the dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked.
I didn't realize he was wearing bells.
Shut the fuck.
Objection.
While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, your benevolence. Is there something you care to say, massive douche? Even if it was Abbott and me who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the high priest to approach. Ah! What do you mean, though? If she took... Okay. During the rite, she's supposed to put on the robes and take the dagger, right? So she did that, and then she just stood there like a dumbass. And then he ran into her, killing himself. What exactly is the thing here? I mean, what?
What you say makes no difference, lawyer. I still win.
Right. Okay.
I'm sure it will make sense in the end.
I'm sure it won't.
Do you understand, oh?
Nope. Shooba-dooba-dooba-dooba-doo-boop-boop-boop. Pam-pam-param. Pam-param. Okay, so this part is exactly the same.
The dagger was
Water?
Taurus in him.
Fucking let me skip ahead. God damn it, game. Water. Okay, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Objection!
Kablamo. Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? That's easy.
Water.
The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbott and me would have adhered to them. Oh, that's strange. So, right, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yeah, I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point. What? What it is? It's simply it's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh. Yes, and the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction. What? Well, if the rite started as it should have, the victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. That's absurd. This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insight indicates. But it doesn't really matter because it doesn't change anything. The accused... Here, right? I don't get it. Or are we implying she stood in the spring? Is that what we're going for right now? Because that doesn't make any sense.
In the water.
What makes far more sense to me is that she stood here
She couldn't have been in the spring, no?
and he didn't move forward, he moved backwards and she floated towards him. Because that is the only thing that makes any sense to me. Because he was still, you know, defending himself. Whatever, fine. Fine game, I'll go along with whatever the hell it is you think you're doing. And Abed and me and Miss Faye were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in his rights guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However,
Yeah.
if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached. But that doesn't... This doesn't make any sense either, because we see the broken lantern on his right side. This is impossible. Right? We see the flame in the wind on his right side, which is not possible in this... What the fuck, game? Victim did step into the spring.
The spring seems pretty small as well.
This can only mean that Miss Faye had actually... No, it doesn't. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, the broken lantern means that at the point he must have been standing by the spring himself.
Yeah. Oh, come on, game. What is this shit?
Maybe he walked backwards.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The only thing that makes any sense at all is that he was facing her like we initially thought, but he walked backwards and she floated towards him without making any footsteps. Footstep sounds.
But he definitely stepped into water forwards. That's what the game has established.
No. Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights. It doesn't. Let's say the accused is standing in the spring. You are tiring my fucking patience, game. Does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. I guess you have a point there. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Ever think you had? And just eating crisps like a fucking imbecile. Sounds like Princess Rayfa has a pretty good grasp on what a lawyer's all about. Where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? In a better place. That's where. You did.
If he was in the water, then the murder would have been as well, but the spring looked pretty small for two people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, but the game wants us to go along with this bullshit right now, so... I really wish the game at least allowed me to skip text. The slow scrolling is fucking killing me. You have to say to yourself, gotta say fuck you, video game.
Was the right lantern really broken in the inside? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it blew in the wind, which is only possible if the wind guard is broken.
All right. Hope that comes up.
I can show it. There, you see?
Right.
Yeah, this is where we have to...
Objection!
Found a new contradiction. Another one of your vile attempts. Nope, take a good look. Just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. There's nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred. No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring... okay. And what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue. I failed to see your point. The point is, something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. Hey!
You know, I think the whole floating thing that was in the anime cutscene should be just forgotten about. And just consider that she cannot float or fly, and anime is fake.
I failed to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. Very fine division and reveal the truth for all to see. Sigh. Huh? The lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it. And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within for the right of fire. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering. Say what? When we searched the crime scene, the lanterns had their wind guards on. Because the police put them back on. Sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years. Defense could not risk them being extinguished, even during an investigation. We'll never fly back home.
I'm so confused.
I'm not. I'm just annoyed. You're done babbling. If so, then it is time to... Nick! Don't worry, Ma. I'm just getting started. Unfortunately, this is gonna drag on for 4 hours again. Here we go again. I go back for. Need to watch this because now we have clearer vision.
If there were no footsteps, maybe Kira did have bells as well, or maybe I'm just grasping on straws.
Doesn't this look broken though? The thing? This lantern looks broken to me, but it might just be shadows. No, it's definitely broken. There's a... one of the things is missing. Like this thing is missing. Yeah, it's broken, definitely. So we go again.
Objection!
It does look broken on the side.
What does this possibly mean? It means you fucking stupid game.
You're right. It's missing on this part of the vision.
Alright, one minute you shout out and the next you fall silent. Perhaps it is like the bell of one who is bearing down a hill with nowhere stopping. Is that not right? Dots. Please let me skip the dots. Ah! I wish I had someone else to read out these lines for me because I can't be bothered. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. I'm just ready to throw this game out the window. In fact, I'm in full control of this video game.
Slam.
The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken, and if you watch what Abbot Enemy saw in his final moment, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Faye is broken. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. Oh, so that's what they're going for. Yeah, right, I see. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in this seance vision. How could this be? He turned around while he had his thing up. That's what I thought like a long time ago. Even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights? Let me start by saying, the claim I'm about to raise will overturn a case I've built thus far. Fucking get on with it. You can tell... both? But I guess this is what they want me to say. Where the accused and the victim were standing. Did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? I did, and I built my argument on a faulty premise.
Phoenix is gonna savagely own those noobs.
But thankfully it has led us here. To the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertions in such capricious manner, its credibility may come into question.
Take that!
I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. You know the victim had stepped into the spring.
So I guess he was in the water.
That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that
Or
Miss
not.
Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No, this is where things take a different turn, and I mean that literally. The victim had to have been moving towards the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned towards the accused. What's this? Mean to say the victim turned around? Such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. Actually, it does. It's just that no one noticed, because the thing is up. Which I thought about for, you know, whatever. Thanks, game, for finally catching up. Yeah.
Objection.
If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence's insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that? Don't need to explain anything, because it's just as he said. Her benevolence's insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. Huge error, you say? Do explain. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. That's when he was stabbed. This cannot be! Oh, but it can, and it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind this testimony of the dead.
Finally, we found the correct position.
Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime? Have I misunderstood the voice of the minima? Yet again! Okay, bye. Finally, when I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow, I should add these new facts to the court record. Yay!
RIP.
Okay, bye. Why do they still have the people like fade away instead of just having them walk out? Like, I understand they did that back in ye olden days because, you know, making sprite artwork takes a lot of time, but now that I have 3D models and already have people moving and swinging around like fucking maniacs, why don't you just have them walk away? Whatever.
Now we have only one douche to take care of.
Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Shadmati? My work as an international prosecutor has taken me time learned to perform lost rights for soul in that like zones.
3D models take a lot of time.
Nope. Way less than sprite artwork. Anyway, once you've got them, like animating them is piss easy.
But I guess it would feel awkward and not swift enough.
I don't know about that. You have a lot of downtime where they could do that. And if the animations are smooth, then it could look great even. It could even do things like adding personality by having people walk away sad or walking away mad or like being hesitant in walking away and so forth, but whatever. Could the defense please tell us who this third party dressed as Lady Kira was?
They would have to turn around, man.
Yeah, but without a lot of flair. So I trust you have some evidence.
That is too much work.
It feels like they wanted to keep the 2D pixel art feel with 3D models.
But that doesn't work out, it just doesn't. this one now, right? Or was it... this one, right?
Take that!
Or not! Back to guessing what the game wants from me. Yay!
Let's
Hold on
look
for a
at
sec.
them diagrams.
It's gonna be Lady Kira's warning in this case. Like, I didn't know if the game wanted this one or this one. I decided against this one because it wasn't at the crime scene, but this one was, so I assumed it was more important. Because, you know, with this one they would just say, well, fucking, how is that relevant? But fine, the game wants this one, so here, have this one. 3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter. He did! Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, do not perform the rite, but the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered.
I thought they would just argue that Maya wrote it.
Yeah, or something like that. But whatever, game. What do you suppose? Who do you suppose sent that letter? The person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Peace. I don't get it. I heard the Lady Kira has been in the news of late, only hunted rebels. If so, why would you have killed the high priest? Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the high priest had secretly been a rebel? What?
I don't know how will I manage to beat the other games myself with how dumb I am.
Walkthroughs is the answer, my duty. Oh, do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you, motherfucker? I too found it hard to believe at first, but as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible. Third party was the rebel hunting Lady Kira, and the high priest was a rebel?
But that robs it of its charm.
You mockery! The king of Crayon itself knows no bounds. Making a mockery of a religion. Oh no.
I do like when he slams his fist with the beads.
I'm so tired of this.
Objection!
I have a sneaking suspicion this case will not be cleared with just one courtroom scene.
So I'll prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. Yay. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer to that will dispel the defense's doubt. What? An eyewitness? But how?
Can you
Oh, this
please not
guy.
eat so audibly? It's really grossing me out enough to want to mute the stream.
I can't eat any quieter. I would have to mute myself completely. Please state your name and occupation. You know, so-and-so, whatchamacallit. Anonymous TBD. At least that's what they've been calling me. TBD has been to be determined. Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac. Therefore, I named him Anonymous. In my report, but he thinks CBD is part of his name. You're letting an amnesiac testify? Have no fear. I've already questioned him at length. Good. While it is true he has utterly forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact.
Never mind, we can just accuse this guy right now instead of doing more investigating.
Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Dearth? Dearth. Okay. Therefore, I will permit this testimony. Now, Mr. Emus, please tell us what you saw. That night, I was up at the top of Mount Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum, which is not possible that she saw anything because I remember it being lower than the other mountain. Where's that fucking diagram? Yeah, there you go. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binocs to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused. Stab the high priest with a dagger. There's no way, dude. Beautiful mountain that is also known as a Little Sanctum. Mr. Emus was wondering, what can I do you for? The inner sanctum
Just
lies
wait
at a
till
high...
they bring another eyewitness. Faku BHRO.
The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where the clouds and fog can obscure the view. I'm sure you were able to see what happened from the mountain next to it. Good point. Well, at least they're bringing this up front. His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Emus, the day of the rites, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day. That doesn't... What? But that doesn't change anything. You couldn't have seen inside there. There was a fucking thing on there. The area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. Oh, I didn't even read correctly, so he argued about the weather. Well, fuck you. It's not even important. It's the elevation difference that's important. Fuck off, game.
Mr. Incognito is lying.
Well, it would appear the witness has offered testimony worth hearing. Mr. Emus, I have a question. Well, that's what I'm here for, right?
Well,
Shoot.
the weather might become important later.
How was the accused holding the the dagger. Was she holding it underhanded, its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand? Yep, I believe she was. It's called a reverse grip. Ah, thought as much.
Hold it!
Might will have something to do with the wind heard during the insight.
Hold it right there. What bearing does this have on the case? Fucking your animations are so long. Seize your interruptions, you fuck. You not see the significance in how the blade was held? No, don't. Why does this guy...
At least Black Quill had a cool bird to watch.
Why does this guy hate, like, animals so much? What's wrong with him? How do you accuse help? The dagger is vital importance. With such information we can infer exactly what actions she took. You were saying that the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused? Is that correct? Sure. As such, the accused's dagger grip tells us something very important. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen, using a reverse grip. Abdomen. What? Thus, Mr. Ema's testimony clears up any doubts that might remain. Oh. And it coincides with her benevolence's insides as well. Huh? How? It doesn't... What? It doesn't explain anything. We still have a third person at the scene. What the fuck is this shit? At night, it was up at the top.
Just don't think about it.
Yeah, probably not gonna think about it. No, it's no, since there was no one around. Use my binoculars. Alright, I'm gonna risk it and present the fucking curtains here already, because I don't wanna press this fucker.
Objection!
Yeah, it was right. Cool. Your Majesty. I had my
Bad
doubts about his
idea.
bushy bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him. What? Ain't just judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are you? Not at all, Mr.
Oh,
Amos.
you lucked out this time.
Yep, it's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony. You fuck. Recall how the inner sanctum was that day, specifically that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain. Why yes, I believe you're right. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pony Pony. Therefore, he couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen. Mr. Emos, have you been known by making false statements to this court? You got me. Witness will lower his voice. Didn't actually see the accused herself. He didn't actually see the accused herself? What's that supposed to mean? Let me set the record straight. I beg you. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. Figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. Where's the fucking weather report? Is it this? Doesn't say anything about the moon. A cold front moving overnight. Okay. So I guess that might still be something. It was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused who was gripping that dagger. I could see what was going on, but the shadows projected onto the ritual curtain. It's also not possible because they were surrounded by lights, which would not make a clear projection onto anything at all. But sure, let's roll with it for now. Give me my main man, Mr. Magistrate, chalk it up to my fuzzy memory. Though he saw but shadows, it is still valuable testimony. Gotta be kidding me. What to do now, Nick? All I can think of is look for inconsistencies, as always, because that's what we do in this court. Yay! Cross-examine the shit. Alright.
Let's just assume they did. Could have been the moonlight.
Well, let me look through everything again. So the moon is shown exactly above, which wouldn't have projected anything. The moon is directly over the summit. Yeah. So that wouldn't have done any projection at all. Okay. Well,
So what about the wind?
the wind doesn't matter for this.
If he says it was still.
I don't think that has much of a consequence since what, you know, whatever. You got it. You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight. Sorry, but that's just not possible. Well, what do you mean? That's not possible. Let's take a look at this right sky, shall we, Mr. Emus? The right is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. Pam, pam. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. But Mr. Emus was standing to the west of the inner sanctum of Mount Pony Pony. Oh, well, that's different from what I thought was happening, but whatever, fine. Works too. That's right, our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain. No way! Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast the shadows he saw? I'm afraid not. Inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Imus claims to have seen. But I did see those silhouettes, really. How could he? Maybe it was someplace where they were visible. You don't tell me. The Magistrate, Mr. Emus really did see those shadows. It brings a brand new fact to light.
Thinking about geological locations is my weakness.
And that will be... brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Emus really did see those shadows is. It's somewhere else, of course. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. Oh, then where do you propose the witness was? A place where he could see them.
I mean geographical.
None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum were close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place he could have clearly seen the shadows from. A coffee shop. Yeah, the Plaza of Devotion, of course. Mr. Emus was at the inner sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures. Hoo-ha! Yeah. Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that. Wasn't the inner sanctum off limits to all the victim, but the victim and the accused? And the third party was there, you mean? I get the feeling that's a subject Prosecutor Shetmadi would rather not touch right now. Dots. Ah, you mean... That's right, this witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could be the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest. Ooga! What?
Objection.
No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum, and the only way up there are the stairs that start down at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred place? You must have, not that far ahead. Sanctum has sheer cliffs on 3 sides and a steep, towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs. Because technology totally doesn't exist in this world. His Majesty speaks true. You say Mr. Innes was at such an inaccessible location. Quite a bit to tarnish his credibility. And how do you resolve the fucking contradictions, you motherfucker?
Hold it.
What about the silhouettes? Starting to think I've been imagining things. What? This is insane. Shut the fuck. Rah rah says Spoomba. Fight fight Phoenix right. See no shame. It's your problem, lady. Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know. He's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind. Please, Ma, you're only making it worse. Appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself for now. Now, Mr. Emus, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night. Never at the inner sanctum, I tell you. Not much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. Guess this is gonna be a pressing round. I guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the inner sanctum like he claims, but... Now will he desist in trying to frame this innocent witness? No.
Present the evidence that lawyers are not scary.
Shut the fuck up.
Nahida's theme is pretty nice at least.
I guess. Yeah, the music in this game is good. But not good enough to make me not mad at it.
Hold it.
It's no Persona music. Are you sure you weren't in there? All I'm sure of is that you're deeply skeptical. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are all lawyers always like this? Yes, everyone always, at all times.
You are a taut customer.
You mean he's contagious? He's gonna give me lawyeritis. Okay, it's getting fucking stupid. Phew, that was a close one. You almost put me there at the scene of the crime when I wasn't even there. Which I'm sure of even with the fuzzy memory. Slam. You just said your memory was fuzzy. I sure did. What's the big deal? I'll tell you what. Your testimony isn't very credible if your memory of the events is fuzzy. Oh, no worries there. My memory may be fuzzy, but I'm very clear on one thing.
Lisa Dieter.
You ask me whether or not I remember what I did that night. I'd say I do. Don't it's true. Ha ha ha. Exactly. I guess you don't get to be a judge for nothing. Totally not there. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Sir. I wonder if it really was impossible for you to get to the inner sanctum. Have something to say, just say it. Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention? No, there isn't. Means there is. Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us. I didn't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory, though. Time to reach into my bag of
when
bluffs.
are we gonna learn that he's the escaped convict?
Hopefully soon. He fell from the sky. Okay, game. Maybe you fell from the sky. Ha ha ha. Larry thinks he's a comedian now. Actually, no. You ever heard of fucking parachutes, you motherfucker? I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it. Your streamers could have, parachuted down. There you go. You already know the weather was clear and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. Now that you've been backed into a corner, your delusions grow ever more delusional. The inner sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff of over 2,000 meters tall. One misstep and the skydiver would soon find himself in the Twilight Realm. Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was, even I couldn't have made that jump. Wait, what's this building on top of the Sacred Mountain? As Royal Penitentiary number 4. Alright, that thing. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? A helicopter, but only with authorization from the Minister of Justice. He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum. Yeah, so we're gonna get there soon.
A prison
Might I
huh?
also add, defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving have been found. Are you saying I flew down there by flapping my arms? Maybe incredible dude, but even I'm not capable of that. Well, please add that statement to your testimony.
Hold it!
You wouldn't need to flap your arms if you had some gear. As I've already stated, nothing of the sort was found in or around the scene. Are we sure about that?
If he's the escaped convict, how have all these legal and law people not recognized him as such?
He's wearing makeup. Same stupid fucking thing. I guess, yeah, here's where this rope comes in. Okay, good. I guess I'm gonna give it a shot.
Too much facial hair.
Sure like to see some of that so-called gear you're talking about. I know, but was there really nothing like that at the inner sanctum? What if there was something that could have been used as a parachute? Yeah, thanks, Phoenix. Yeah. I'm getting to it, video game. Thank you. That's the only thing at all.
Objection!
Yay! Okay, we got it. Mr. Emus is right. He couldn't have skydived down there without any gear. Well now, finally come around, have you? Now you see that I couldn't have possibly been there at the inner sanctum. Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is. What? That overreaction is a dead giveaway. Take a look at this piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they have been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute. This is so dumb. The people of Crayon are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation. Like, I could have accepted it if it was a rope, but a parachute? Come on now. I know this game has some cartoony shit in it, but this is stretching it. The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Emus? There's no way out. Surround it. Mr. Emus. All this talk's jogged my memory. I guess it was there at the inner sanctum after all.
He must have had strong grip.
He must have had, like, really fucking strong cords to tie those fucking things together. And they must have been really strong as well to hold his weight. And all of those kinds of things. As I suspected, there were 3 people there that night. Did it. Thanks. Mr. Emus, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you? What? No way, man. It's like this, oh yeah. I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident. By accident. Shouldn't we focus on the fucking facts? How he's a fucking escaped convict? Is that not like the thing we should jump to right now? If you flew down there by parachute, the only way to get there would have been from the prison. Motherfucker, what is this? That thing's not a parachute, it's a homemade paraglider. Paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material? May not look like much, but it's as sturdy as can be. Rode the wind like an eagle,
No,
going higher and
man,
higher
he's
from
just
my
climbed.
earthly launching point. And then something happened that forced me to land at the inner sanctum. So, you just happened to land there? Expect me to believe that? Please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed. Let's continue. That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. Just as Mount Pony Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum. As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by accident. Mr. Emus, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning. Can't be helped. I mean, I'm just remembering now. Continue such slipshod testimony and you will be cast into the hell of Hugnan, where you shall have your hangnails grown and ripped out for you. I mean, yes, okay. That evening I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my stuff. Down near. What kind of accident though?
Hold it!
What exactly was this accident?
Oh boy.
Good question. Now what was it again? Wind. Oh yeah, it was the wind.
If the wind was still, how could he paraglide?
Yep. Not just any wind, but sudden gale force wind make me lose control. When you're strong enough to make you lose control. You got that right. Okay then, please add it to your testimony. Yeah, alright. I'm not even gonna bother pressing Fuck off. We have a saying in my country, Mr. Emus, one lie begets another. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Means someone caught lying will lie again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie you're telling to cover your tracks. What do you say? You claim gale force winds caused you to lose control, but this newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says, the area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. I do believe it does say that. Phoenix. Your Majesty, the witness's testimony contains another flaw, one that's even more fatal to his cause. More fatal, you say? The defense will explain himself at once. Mr. Emus claims he was flying up around the inner sanctum with this paraglider, but it would have been impossible to get all the way up there without any wind. Why, yes, I believe you're right. We know the witness was at the inner sanctum, so how did you get there, and from where? Without any wind, he couldn't have flown, so he would have come from the mountain. Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the inner sanctum, Mr. Emus must have launched himself from here.
Take that!
Hoo-ha! Are you insane? That's where he came from? If he couldn't have come from below, the only other option is from above. So you see, Anonymous came down from Royal Penitentiary number 4. From there, he could have easily reached the inner sanctum by parachute. And that means he might have also killed the High Priest. What? Mr. Emus, were you the third party at the inner sanctum? And the one behind the warning to halt the rites that the victim received? Was it you we saw in his final memory? Are you the rebel hunter, Lady Kira? Woo-ha! Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sir, help me out here. Dots. You did it! Oh, come on, Mr. Prosecutor, man. Quiet. Fuck. Should have used this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. For fate far worse than hangnail hell awaits you now. Well done, defense. I must concede this point to you. The witness did in fact descend to the inner sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4. Huh? He didn't even put up a fight this time. That's awfully generous of him. But if you are as perceptive as you seem, then surely you've already figured out the riddle. The riddle of Anonymous' true identity. Oh, his true identity? Yeah, we know. Fuck. God damn it. It would seem I'm the only one still in the dark here. Would the defense care to enlighten me? Here's this man we've been calling Anonymous. Is this really him? Huh, only now do you realize the truth. Well, please do share with us your belated insight. It's wrong, I could just say it. This isn't going to be very helpful to our case. Really? Are you sure? Fortunately, I've got no other choice. That scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off. But it's all becoming clear now, and the nighttime base jump from the mountaintop prison. Precision landing and at the inner sanctum we're using only a homemade parachute. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is Dots Aribal, prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group. What? Aha! Witness is an escaped prisoner? Precisely, the police have been scouring every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was under our noses the entire time. Ah, didn't think anyone would see through my clever disguise. The witness's charade is not all that has been shattered, is it, defense? Boy, do I hate this guy. Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, "Do not perform the rite." The rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered. The person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Yeah. Claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira. Yeah, and what's the point? Ah, game, please be a bit faster, Jesus. What if the witness's true identity? Only a perturber. Come on! This was 10 seconds ago. Fuck! Could not possibly be Lady Kira, mortal enemy of the rebels. Yeah, but that doesn't fucking matter, dude.
We really needed that flashback.
That
But
fucking...
you might have forgotten.
This is so fucking stupid. We know, like, okay, we can just throw all that out of the window now because we know an escaped, like, rebel was there at the fucking scene of the crime. So he could have just done the Lady Kira robe in order to cast suspicion on Maya and then stab the fucking priest because he's a fucking rebel. This is so stupid. Why are we hanging on this? Fuck off. The case would be done right here, right now. We have the opportunity, we have the means, and we have the motive for this guy to kill the other dude. And it's just, what the fuck? We could be done with this right now.
The rebels would never do that.
Yeah, totally. After all, he has yet to refute any of this. Ooh, you got me. And razor sharp fangs and defiant dragons. That's our ball. When did you get your memory back? Oh, around the time you guys were talking about there being no wind. But you gotta give me credit for making up all that testimony off the top of my head. I'm prepared to tell us the truth now.
That's a rebel.
Well, it's true, I parachuted down to the inner sanctum, but I banged my head on impact and ended up unconscious outside the ritual curtain. Short, all my eyewitness testimony was a big fat lie. Big fat lie. Why would we believe his testimony? He's a fucking rebel. What the hell is all this? By the way, long time no see, Judy. You knew? Your Majesty, this filthy rebel belongs in a jail cell. Oh yes, of course. Bailiff sees him at once. Seems I really have forgotten the will of the dragon, huh, Judy? But I haven't. No dogs of the Garon regime are gonna lay finger on me. Alley-oop. Play all of every resource. Yeah. Okay, bye. The escaped prisoner escaped again. The police force has been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long. Escaped prisoner who has escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony. Talk about a troublemaker. Really pulled a number on all of us.
Now executing Maya takes priority.
What was the point of all that anyway? Well, I can't help but feel that the entire episode was an enormous waste of time. Me too. Your Majesty. Perhaps it was not as great of a waste as you might believe. Makes you say that. Not Sir Ball dropped something as he made his escape from these halls. That scrap of paper looks awfully familiar. These appear to be direct orders from Dirk. From Dirk? Oh god! We only have a small corner of it. Yeah, I remember now.
They are aware of your streams being
Your
a
Majesty,
waste of
I've seen
time.
that scrap of paper before. You have? Yeah.
Take that!
I found it at the scene of the crime. It appears to be a copy of the order that Mr. Aribal dropped. If we put the two together, we should be able to read what the order says. Wow, how fortunate that matches up, you know, and that there was a copy in the first place. Whatever. Oh my, and just what does it say, Mr. Wright? I can't read Crannies.
How convenient.
Prosecutor Shetmati, if you please. The ignorant lawyers... He's just here on fucking tourism, dude. What do you expect, asshole? I do not understand. Well, what does it say? Using the lamplight as a landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was to don Lady Kira's robes and make his escape. What? Yes, I was to escape from prison? So if I were to assume that Mr. Aribal was the one who killed the High Priest, then maybe it was because Abbot and me tried to thwart his escape plan? Oh, foul Laurie, I'm afraid this is simply ludicrous. Huh? But I didn't say anything. I know how your putrid mind works. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the rebels' escape plan has been revealed, it is clear that Aribal is not the High Priest's killer. How can you be so sure? If only you would use the Aribal's plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual. What do you mean? I'm speaking of Abbot and me, of course. Had Aribal simply donned Lady Kira's robes and made his escape alone, he would have been far too conspicuous. Not were he by the High Priest's side. Faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is therefore unthinkable that Aribal was the High Priest's killer. So then you're saying the High Priest was a... I'm afraid it is so. He numbered among the rebels who threaten our kingdom. How could this be? High Priest, a rebel? That's some kind of mistake. Except the truth is, I gotta stop before you, fucker. And why should I? Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we have eliminated Aribal from our list of suspects, there's only one person that still remains, the accused, my affair. Hold it right there. Aren't you forgetting something important? Something important? Please do explain. You can't end this trial without looking into the third party. I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Kira we saw in the seance vision. If that was not Aribal, then who was it? That matter has already been resolved. It has? What's he talking about? It is as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the seance vision. But there was another Lady Kira there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her. What the... Can't do my finger point. It's time to let it go and move on. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your own. It hardly seems fair. It is quite simple once you consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring with his back to the accused, would he see ahead? Besides the water itself, there is nothing but the Warbot statue. Precisely. Is the Warbot statue draped in her sacred robes? No way. How would she have been holding the dagger though? The accused wanted the false Lady Kira to appear in the seance vision but we saw the dagger in the fucking vision. Oh, whatever. But why would the accused want to do something like create a false Lady Kira?
The statue was very pointy.
Yeah, but the statue didn't have a literal fucking dagger. And we saw a literal fucking dagger in the vision. Show it to the victim as he was being slain. And what reason would the accused have to fool the victim was about to kill? It's not the victim she was trying to fool, but us through the fucking vision. This very court itself, suspicion would not fall on the accused if it looked as if another Lady Kira was there. What are you talking about? This is the most roundabout way of doing this. Suspicion would immediately fall on her if she did it like this. What the fuck is this bullshit? This is the stupidest shit. Scheming which you sought to use seance vision to mislead us. Yeah.
Are they gonna argue she pushed him onto the statue or something?
No, he argues that she used a backhanded grip and another dagger to stab him or something. I don't even know.
Objection. Hold it.
It would appear that the defense has run out of shits to give. I thought for sure that the rebel was the killer. The only person with a possible motive, the young one dressed as Lady Kira, has vanished. You got nothing to use against Prosecutor Shadmati's argument. Damn it. Very well then, game over. Now then, this court finds the accused IFA and the defense Phoenix Wright guilty. Yay! Game over.
Rest in peace, Maya.
Hey, video games are over. Cool. Or is Maya gonna channel fucking Mia now and then there's gonna be a thingy? That what's gonna happen next? Bailiff, Your Majesty, please forgive the interruption, but... What's up? A body has been found. In the Plaza of Devotion, Your Majesty.
Probably.
Or not. What is this? A dead body. Wowzers. And we found the sticking out of the victim.
Let's go to have an afterlife burger.
Why, that's Lady Kira's robot dagger. Yes, come fit rebels. Oh god. Well, it seems the dagger has now been found. One more thing to report. Yeah. This dagger. There's the fingerprints of my Faye on it. Of course it does. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't they be on it? Cannot believe it, yet it must be true. Something the matter, Prosecutor Sharmati. This trial has run its course, and the accused's guilt has been firmly established. However, it would seem the defense was right about one thing. He claimed that the murder at the Inner Sanctum had been carried out by the rebel hunter masquerading as Lady Kira. I did say something to that effect, but
That's
what of it?
bullshit, but I believe it.
Are you suggesting what I think you are? I believe the true identity of the rebel hunter who has been masquerading as Lady Kira is none other than the accused. What? Me? What? 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 Realize how boring this must seem. Looking back, however, I now realize there was much that pointed to this fact. Rebel hunting Lady Kira was first sighted about 2 years ago, and the accused first came to our kingdom 2 years ago. Why the timing matches up to a year,
If
which
she's
is
a rebel
fairly
hunter, she's a
granular.
pretty cool woman.
There is more. That warning letter was found in the High Priest's bedroom 3 days before the rite. Despite his eyes being locked up tight that night.
Objection!
How does that prove anything? It is difficult to believe an intruder could have found a way to enter such a secure house. However, the accused was known to come and go freely there. Mainly to prepare for the purification rite.
Boy, this is getting convoluted.
Eh. Please remove all flashbacks, thank you. The accused could have easily left the house unlocked for herself without anyone noticing. We assume that the accused was Lady Kira, that more than established our motive for killing the High Priest. That made him a target of Lady Kira's wrath. After killing the High Priest, she then unleashed her divine justice on another rebel. So it seems the scope of this
They
case
should
is expanded.
cancel out her verdict if she managed to get rid of those rebels for them.
We now have 2 murders perpetrated by Miss Maya Faye masquerading as Lady Kira. It would affect the severity of her punishment? What? I thought she was going to be put to death. I don't think there's anything worse than that, right? As you wish, Maya Faye hereby charge you with a
Mystery
second murder.
solved. Maya is a superhero.
May your defiled soul feel...
She can be put to double death.
Count tomorrow, far more terrible punishment awaits you. Hereby suspend this proceedings so that the second murder may be investigated until the conclusion of this new investigation. This court is adjourned. Yay. I get the feeling I would have enjoyed snoops far more than this tonight. That's fine. At least we didn't have to sit here for 4 hours again.
This was all for nothing.
Yay! Yay! Alright. Thanks for sticking around, and see you guys in a week.
At least we saw Big Boss here.
Bye.